This is Surly Tim's Fun Bunker. I'm Surly Tim. I've been shooting a few episodes today, but I had mentioned earlier that I had self-published a comic book. I self-published it in 1997. A comic book called Apartment C. It's not an impressive book. In actuality, it was quite atrocious. It definitely shows to go that hindsight is 20/20, because what I've done is I've learned what not to do to produce a comic book by producing one. Now, there was a group of people that I was working with. Name of the company we were trying to put together was Mind Grind Comics. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I'm having problems with my musical accompaniment. But Mind Grind Comics, it was a grouping of people here who live in this town where I live, Worcester, Ohio. We've actually got quite a few professionals that have lived here before. Now, I'm not talking like John Byrne or anyone like that, or Jack Kirby, Stanley, not to that quality. But we've had some industry professionals come out of the area. Mine was a self-published book. My friend Dave Ernst offered to do the editing, inking, and the lettering, and without him doing the lettering, I would have never got it done, because he did it all computerized. This was years before really the artwork and stuff would have been digitized, but he did all the word balloons and lettering for me on this computer, which really helped out a lot. I got to give my shout out to him. The only thing that really damaged the book was we had done an attempt to edit the book. There was instead of writing down winches, wrenches was left behind. So that's really the only thing that really kind of set the book into a pit of despair, I would say. But the book cost me $275 to get printed from a printing co-op in Florida. And I debuted it in the Mid-Ohio Con of 1997, which was kind of cool, because I was listed with some big names. Actually, Will Eisner was at one of the shows, and my name wasn't too far away from his, so that was kind of a neat thing for me. Not that it really got me anywhere or propelled any kind of great profession, but it did have its perks, so to speak. I also did set up in the Motor City Comic Con in Detroit, near Detroit, in the spring of '98. Luckily, I was seated near William Messner Loebs, which very enjoyable, very nice man. His wife was very, very polite as well. I was also lucky enough to sit next to an artist by the name of Francesco. He's created a few Green Lanterns and some other characters. Very, very interesting fellow as well. But one of the other things that set the book apart, I don't know if you can see it or not, it says, smells like a real comic. This was meant to be printed on newsprint paper, but they started printing them on a heavier stock paper, unfortunately, that month. Like I said, it wasn't a great book. It was just a bunch of short sketches. The most page space that was used was, I believe, 3 pages. Just a book about a couple of guys, a couple of roommates, going hanging out at the bar. It wasn't a great book, like I said. It was just one of those things. I did write the second issue, and I started to do the printing, or some of the panels and stuff on it, but then I just fell into a place where it really just didn't matter anymore to me, and I considered revisiting it, but the story just wasn't all that. It wasn't that involved. You really couldn't go anywhere with it, and the inspiration for my material was completely gone, because it was just basically my old roommate Marty and I, and some of the misadventures, basically with me basically ticking off a bunch of women and religious groups. But that would have been me at the time. I actually had hair. That would have been my roommate Marty. He was in a band called the Mental Cockknockers, I believe, and the band is still together, actually. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it was a piece of artwork I did for him. Like I said, I learned what not to do while publishing a comic book, and that was it was quite the learning experience. It was fun. I wouldn't go back in time and change a thing, actually, because if I would have done it right the first time, I wouldn't have learned what I learned and kept in my mind what I need to do to change. Learning how to write was the biggest thing. And actually, several years later, I was writing a music column and doing interviews with bands for the local newspaper. Kind of a bit of a rag. The Daily Record, we usually referred to it as the Daily Wretched. My father used to refer to it as Dick's Fish Wrapper because the man who owned it, his last name was Dix. But yeah, it was. It led to a lot of opportunities that had I not produced the book, I probably would have never experienced. Although, actually, I did. This was kind of cool when we were set up at Mid-Ohio and Columbus in '97. We did a jam page with a bunch of other people. Sergio Aragones being one of them. Brian Michael Bendis did this sketch. Matt Feasel, famous for his stick figure comics. It was just this really cool page. Of course, those are my two characters. And Dave Ernst, my anchor and editor, that was kind of a characterization of himself. But a jam page, it's something that I'll always hold on to. It just kind of sealed the moment, historically speaking. But yeah, really look forward to getting back into the industry as I've returned after a 10-year hiatus. So once that turns into something feasible, I'll keep you guys apprised. I do have a few projects I'm working on, and I don't think I'm going to be drawing the book, but since I've advanced in the realm of photography, I believe I'm going to kind of go the Maliv way, the guy that was doing the pencils, well, not really pencils, but doctored photographs in the Daredevil issues, opposite Brian Michael Bendis, which I've got a variety of stories from cons when I first met Brian Michael Bendis that I'm going to do eventually, because it led to some really cool material. So, but that will happen later. Thanks again for viewing, and I will talk to you later.